Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I want to talk about Captain Marvel, and I want to talk about the piece of trash known as Brie Larson. And you'll say, well, you're sexist for saying that. No, at first when she was announced to be Brie Larson, I didn't have a problem with her. I didn't really watch any of her movies prior to that. I know she has an Oscar or whatever for the movie The Room. That's cool, whatever. But over time, I already didn't like the character, but I was gonna give the character a shot. But seeing some of the crap that Brie Larson says, not only in interviews where you see different articles for it, and she was at I can't remember what award show it was, but she was pretty much saying she pretty much trashing white men. Now you say, why should I care about white men? Because I'm a black guy? Because I think what she really wants to say is all men, but she doesn't want to get called a racist for saying, if she says all men, that means she would include every other race of men. So white men are an easy target because you're not really, you say that, you're not going to get a lot of shit for it. So I think for the most part, she really means all men. And it's obvious in the things she says. She said the movie's going to be a feminist, some kind of feminist movement or whatever. Now, looking at Captain Marvel itself, a few months ago, it was projected to make another, because currently it's at 100 million. I think it was at like 150 million a few months ago. And it has a lot to do with, the trailers kind of being lackluster, mainly because of Brie Larson. Acting's kind of bland in it. And also just the things she says on Twitter. Really, for me, it really started because let's be honest, I didn't know the hell she was. I really didn't know the hell she was until really she got casted as Captain Marvel. But it really started when she said, she was talking about like at the airport, the guys that do security or whatever. One guy tried to ask for her number, and she was saying something about women are always on the defense or whatever. Listen here. Stop playing the oppression Olympics, because you have been casted in one of the highest grossing franchise in terms of the MCU, the highest grossing franchise. You're gonna make $5 million on your first solo movie. I don't think anyone else in MCU made that much on their solo movie for the first one. Now, Robert Downey eventually made that much, but go look at how much he made for Iron Man 1. Go look at how much Gal Gadot made for Wonder Woman. You would say, well, she has an Oscar or whatever. Okay, so, but she's making $5 million. She's about to be a part of one of the biggest movies in the history of cinema. Hate it or like it, that's what it is. Avengers End Game is going to be huge. It's going to draw a lot of money in the box office. You're an actor who makes a lot of money, and you're talking about essentially being oppressed. There are people dying every day in these streets, and you get to live in your cozy home. Someone asked for your number. He wasn't malicious, because you would have said if he was. And you want to come up there and cry about it on Twitter. Twitter is full of clowns. It's full of clowns who they're living really good. There are people who can't buy food. There are people who don't have homes. And you're oppressed? Come on, man. But anyways, she go about the whole spiel. She, talking about it's a feminist movement. The only reason people give a damn about this movie is because it's leading into Avengers End Game. No one cares about this character. You got these bot accounts with her, Brie Larson or Captain Marvel's as their Abby or whatever, and I've talked trash about the movie, and they've come after me. And you look at those accounts; they were made around the time the first trailer came out. A lot of people, even if they don't, there are people who don't have a problem with Brie Larson saying, but just don't like the character and probably won't go watch the movie. Now, the movie's going to do well because it's a lead up to Avengers End Game. But it's because it's a part of the grand MCU movie with over 20 movies. It's because it's a part of that. That's the reason it will succeed. And honestly, it won't do as well as originally projected. And I know Kevin Feige has to be pulling his hair out with this idiot. A lot of people had a problem with Black Panther. Black Panther, it was mainly the media where, it was being pushed as this black movement or whatever, wherever have it. None of the actors came out and trashed a part of the, the overall fan base, a part of the viewers. But she did it. Much as you hate Ruffalo, Chris Evans, some of the stuff they say on Twitter, they haven't come out and outright attack people who watch watch the movies, because they know those are the people who fill in your pockets. That, and a lot of the stuff she's saying unprovoked. She was talking about she wanted more diversity at a press release. Unfortunately, most of the movie critics are white men. So you're pretty much saying, I don't want them there. I want people, other group there. Be it Asian, black, etc. Women, stuff like that. That's cool. They can, they'll be there. But to come out and say you don't want this whole entire group to be there. Just imagine if it was the opposite, If a male actor came out and said he didn't want women at, say he was doing a, standalone movie, whatever it may be called, and he didn't want women, I could say specifically white women, but he could just say he didn't want women there, period. How would that go off? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got a lot of hypocrites. And for the movie itself, man, who gives a shit? The character's whack. And Kevin Feige, at first, there was a time when he said, I wanted to push this character as a kind of the face of the MCU. A lot of characters like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, after Endgame, they more than likely won't be a part of anything dealing with the MCU. But I think this is before the success of I believe it's before the success of Spider-Man. Spider-Man didn't come out yet. I don't think they even got the rights from Sony yet to use them. Obviously before Black Panther blew up last year and became the highest selling solo Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So I think, and obviously the X-Men are going to be a big thing later on down the line. It's going to help. It's going to help things heading into the next phase. But pushing her as the face, kind of taking that Tony Stark role, I just don't think it would work. Charisma's not there, and she's already saying it's some kind of feminist agenda, which automatically turns people off. And I mean, that's cool. You want to do some, your activist crap, but don't do it in these movies, man. Nobody cares about that crap in them. People want to see a good action movie. That's what these movies are. They want to see a good action movie. They want to see how this character ties into the grand scheme of things, leading up to Avengers End Game. The rest of that shit people don't care about. And she's, I don't think just because it's such a, superhero movies is such a big thing. I don't see her being essentially the death of the MCU. Obviously not. It's just too big. But pushing her as the face, which, like I said, I don't think happens with all the properties that they now have. I don't think it's gonna happen. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. What do you think about Captain Marvel, or what do you think about the trailers? What the crap Brie Larson says? And I find it funny. I don't even have her blocked because you keep seeing her say stupid shit. And it's like, I should block her. I've blocked people for less. But it's, I don't know. That's just not how to do. And I'm waiting for her to get to a point, especially after the movie comes out, to say, oh, if you're a male or if you're a white male or whatever, then and don't go watch the movie or something along those lines. I'm waiting for her to come out and say that around the time the movie releases, because it's soon. So I'm waiting to hear her say something, really go over the edge and say what you really mean. You know, say what you really mean. Go ahead and say all men, because we know you want to say all men, but white men are easy targets, so that's what you're gonna say for now. But let me know what you think down in the comment section about this piece of trash, Brie Larson. And honestly, I like the Captain Marvel character. I think the Captain Marvel character is better. Like, Brie Larson found a way to be worse than that character. It's essentially Captain Marvel as Brie Larson. I probably said that wrong, but you get what I'm saying. She sucks. But like this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Also, I can't believe I forgot to add, look no further than what's going on with Star Wars, with higher-ups like Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, attacking fans for calling them misogynists or whatever name in the book to discredit their opinions, legit concerns that they had with Last Jedi, what they had with Solo, Force Awakens, Rogue One, whatever. They'll call them misogynists or whatever name to try to discredit their opinion. Kevin Feige's been able to avoid this, but it looks like Brie Larson's trying to strip that down. The way they talk about it, like Captain Marvel's gonna be this Mary Sue type character like Rey, which people hated. Mary Sues aren't good characters. And people say, oh, that only refers to female characters. It's misogynist. No. Go look at Star Trek. Wesley Crusher. Just look up anything about him, and he was the perfect example of what a Mary Sue character was. Highly competent, made everyone else that was more experienced, that was smarter than him, look bad. It's a lot you see with these movies that's supposed to be about this agenda, that has this agenda, like Brie Larson was talking about, like it's supposed to be some kind of feminist movement or whatever. Look at Ghostbusters, the recent one. All female cast. There was advertised as feminist movement with them talking trash about men. See, this is the thing. People just want to see a good movie. When you try to push a movie in that way, it just pisses people off, because people want to see a good movie. No matter what the race or gender of the characters, people want to see a good movie. If it's a good movie, people will watch it. They won't have a problem. But once you put stuff like that in your movie, once we see what your motivations are in that movie, people will obviously be turned off. And Mary Sues aren't good characters. Obviously. They set some kind of standard that doesn't seem even close to being realistic. And I know I'm talking about movies with ghosts and powers in it, but to see a character not go through any struggles throughout a movie, to kind of almost be kind of perfect. And in a lot of these movies where there is this feminist movement, look at Ghostbusters. Bring Ghostbusters up again, along with Star Wars. They make the men look incompetent. They make the men look weak. They make the men look stupid. It's 2019. Eventually, Marvel's been able to avoid it for the most part. But you go look at the rest of Marvel, referring to not the Netflix series, which are now canceled. Those are great. But you look at the comics. You look at the dry, almost non-existent anime side or cartoon side. Feminist propaganda. How many times did we relaunch the Captain Marvel book because they're trash? Look at everything that they've tried to do with changing the characters in the comics. They're willing to lose money in the comics just to push whatever agenda. Eventually, it's gonna trickle down to the movies. Movies have been successful. They're kind of at a point where, we can come out with almost anything and it'll do well. Well, it'll still do well, but there's gonna be a drop off if you try to move to doing that. But anyways, I'm done. I just wanted to add that on, just because I almost forgot before I rendered the video out. As I said before, like and subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. I'm out.